So I didn't expect there would be any more parts to this drama, and there really aren't, but these are just some things that have came out that I think are too important not to mention about the Caitibugzz drama. At this point, it's a saga on my channel, and it's actually getting a lot of views, so it's kind of hilarious, actually, but that was the reason I had a good month last month. But anyways, so there's a new part to this entire drama, and it's all on Katie's side, and for all the Twitter degens, and that one Twitter degen that was in my comments, this video is for you. So anyways, Caitibugzz deleted her live streams for her initial allegations. So basically the allegation where she was talking about how GeorgeNotFound sexually assaulted her, and she deleted her response allegation stream, which followed the initial one and George's 2 responses and her Twitter response, as well as privating her Twitter account. So all basically, privating, the streams that she posted and the, the second, response to everything from her initial allegations, like the initial speaking out about everything, and she hasn't really mentioned anything in her Discord. Now, if this isn't point blank evidence of people, or of her lying about everything, I don't know what to tell you, man, because why would she private everything if she was so confident about everything that she said in those live streams, and she was piously standing on that evidence? Then why would she private it, especially if she knew she was in the right? I just made a recent response video to not allegations, but the stuff that happened to me. It was the sexual harassment and the phone number leaked. I provided every bit of evidence, by the way. This is going to go back to what she did. I'm comparing what I did to what she did, because how I handled everything was the right way. So what I did is I basically talked about everything. I presented evidence of the screenshots. I actually didn't present some evidence that I need to probably do. I need to link the screenshots in the description of that video because it's completely different. But anyways, I have screenshots, and I presented every freaking bit of evidence I had. Now, there was some I couldn't get because I blacklisted one of the guys from the channel, so it deleted all their messages, but that's fine. I presented every piece of evidence I had, and I still have more. If it doesn't matter anyways, because a lot of it's been resolved. And with the phone number leak, I didn't leak the guy's number, obviously, but by the way, that has been resolved for anyone that's curious. It was one of my long time ago friends that did it, but once again, I provided that the leak had happened and that I had been called with call logs. She, on the other hand, didn't do that when she first came out, and she said she made mistakes during the entire thing. Dude, you can't make mistakes in something like this. When it is the suicide of somebody's career, you just can't make mistakes like that. And she plays this off in her second stream. She went from being all crybaby to oh my gosh, my bad. Sorry guys, I just hit the mic. But anyways, oh my gosh, sorry guys, my bad. I just didn't care enough to include these important details. No, by the way, he didn't just sexually assault me. He did a lot of other stuff too. It was really bad, guys. And I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here because I've thought about this for weeks, and I wasn't gonna say anything about it because the drama was over, and I was like, whatever. But I feel like Caitibugzz did this not just to slander his name, but she wanted to come out on top of it. And the reason she did it, and not many people talked about this, but I mentioned this I think in my first video I ever covered on this situation. Does anybody remember the Shovel and Wilbur Soot situation? Shovel came out in the exact same way that Katie did, except the reason hers worked so well and the reason she got so much positive attention was because Wilbur admitted what he did. The thing is, I bet Katie thought, since George didn't upload that much, and she had a quote-unquote similar situation to Shovel, that she could do the exact same thing to him, and he wouldn't respond. So she came out with the allegations, she put on the crocodile tears, made sure her makeup was all in a fray, and then she thought, oh, Wilbur Soot probably won't come out with all this, let's just, or not Wilbur Soot, GeorgeNotFound won't come out with all this. But the problem is most normal human beings, when they are being attacked, do not just sit down. When they are in the face of career-ending allegations, especially with an audience of over 10 million people, not just 1 million, not just a couple 100,000, over 10 million people, I would not sit back, and George didn't either. And the thing is, too, you say George's argument loops around and it's just a rabbit chase. I'm sorry to break it to you, Katie, but your whole response and everything that you did was a freaking rat race. Every bit of it was all over the place. You kept introducing new evidence, and you kept faking evidence. Like, George even proved to himself, he called his friend that supposedly texted Katie about, you know, the stuff that happened. That was proved to be fake. The thing is, George never had an inconsistency in his story, at least to my knowledge, and his story was presented in a calm, collected way, whereas Katie's, I understand, you know, if this happened and this actually happened, it might have not came out in a more coherent manner. But at the same time, man, when you are in the face of some very, very serious allegations, like it could go good for you, bad for him kind of allegations, it's not life or death, but it's still very, very serious and very, very elongated allegations. You can't mess up the finer details. My situation wasn't that bad. I wasn't going to lose or gain anything one way or the other. I mean, I gained 511 views, but I mean, I could have just posted a different video that would have done well and called it a day. But at the same time, you just got to realize, too, that what you've done to try and gain clout, because this is what you did. You tried to gain clout off this. You tried to drag a Dream SMP member down, and at the same time, make his audience think, like, oh my gosh, he's a terrible person. Like, oh my goodness, bro, I can't ever think, like, to watch GeorgeNotFound again. The thing is, the people that wrote him off 3 weeks ago are never going to come back, because they've already made it up in their minds that GeorgeNotFound is a creep and a predator and they're just never going to come back. He's probably lost 5 to 10% of his audience just because of her saying that. And, you know, the thing is, they aren't going to believe it one way or the other, because these are the same Twitter users that are one-track minded, and they'll post like 10,000 tweets, like we saw with, you know, those accounts that were posting crap tons of tweets, and I even used some of their tweets in my videos and stuff. You know, they kept just on posting and posting. That's another thing too with this entire thing, is I have not seen an uproar on Twitter like this in a long time. Usually most Minecraft dramas are like a maximum of, I don't know, maybe 3 days long. Like, they do not last long. This one was like a crusade on Twitter, or at least this is the first one that I've seen as a crusade. Maybe it's like a normal day when they talk about Dream, but this is the first time, though, that I've ever seen like Twitter just in an uproar over this. And I guess it's because there were so many developments and there was so much to the story that it kind of made a good point to keep talking about it over and over again. But despite all of this, why would she delete the streams if she was so in the right? Well, my only guess is because she got a lawyer. Now, this is complete just speculation, and I've looked into it just a little bit, but the only reason I could think is because she got a lawyer and she's trying to say that, you know, she was freshly, because she said in her own video that she was freshly 18, which was not true. She was 18 in 5 months. That is not freshly 18. When I turned 15 in June, like the day after would have been considered freshly 18, or not freshly 18, freshly 15. But by the time December 21st rolls around, which is right around the time I would be 15 in 6 months, I'm not freshly 15 anymore. I am like well in the age of being 15, because think about it. If you are 15 and you're trying to get a permit, you are not just freshly 15 or 16. You can't just be freshly 16 to get your driver's license. You have to be a little bit older than 16, like 16 in a day or 16 a month, depending on when you got your permit. But that's the same case with her. You're not freshly 18 if you're 5 months old. You are well into being an adult, well into making your own decisions and all that. And it's just so freaking stupid. But anyways, back to the lawsuit thing. Obviously, if a lawyer looked at that, they would look at the second stream and say, well, wow, you were very egotistical and you were being very call-out-ish to a lot of people and saying a lot of things that didn't matter. Maybe you should private not only that, but your initial allegations. Now, the thing is, her initial allegation stream would have been okay to leave up in a court case, I would believe, because, you know, if it was somehow actually true, I don't see how that could incriminate her in any way. But her second stream came from a point of like, oh my gosh, the entire world is falling apart and people do not believe me anymore for what I'm saying. I got to come out about this. I gotta, you know, put one last coin in the slot machine and hopefully I can win big. But unfortunately, she walked out of Vegas with no money. And, you know, that's what's happened now, is her entire career's falling apart because she thought she could catch the big one. She thought that she would walk out of Vegas a millionaire, but she's walking out there broke and homeless. I'm just sorry to say that, but that's the truth. She thought that she was going to not only just, like, get clout, but bring down GeorgeNotFound. But the thing is, GeorgeNotFound was able to make I don't think it's true, but he was able to make a very well thought out and good defense, and he covered every length of it. The only thing that would make GeorgeNotFound slightly a criminal is, you know, him apologizing. But I mean, like, I think the reason GeorgeNotFound apologized was not because of her, because he probably thought too in his head, like, man, she's just lying through her teeth. But at the same time, she's probably apologizing to, you know, the fans and everybody that was surrounding the situation, that was covering it and doing all this, like, investigative work. But that's kind of my whole take on this entire thing. And, you know, she may... I just dropped my pen. Anyways, she may take an approach to get a lawsuit, but personally, if she even got a lawsuit, like, what legal grounds could she stand on? I mean, she was an adult. She made decisions. She could actually be charged with underage drinking, and that comes with a fine and some, you know, probation time. But, I mean, in a situation here, everything is for GeorgeNotFound to gain and for Katie to lose, because the you know, the meta has turned against her. Everyone is against her, and I feel like the Twitter degens who are posting 10,000 tweets a day in support of Katie, and the people that are supporting Katie are feeling super dumb now for putting that much of a focus forward. Because when I was originally covering the situation, I was thinking to myself, well, hold on here. This is like 2 weeks past another drama that was just like this. Let's just hold on here and see where this goes. Because originally, I mean, I did believe Katie a little bit, but I wasn't 100% on with her plight. And then after, you know, George came out with his response, I was like, yeah, she's just full of crap. But that's all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think down below. And yeah, see ya. Bye.